Okay, Tim, welcome back. Thanks for joining us on Panthers TV. Doesn't seem like a year since we did your signing interview when you first joined the Panthers. What a year it was for you and the team. Just try and put it into words, your experiences over the season.
Yeah, it absolutely was. What a special year it was. Just coming in, it was really exciting, and we had a great group of guys, and obviously some ups and downs throughout the year, but those made us, tighter as a team, and obviously everybody knows how it all ended. And when you win your last game going into the summer, it makes summer a little a little more fun and easier. So yeah, heck of a year.
I want to push you on that answer about, the up and down times and how it made you tighter. Obviously, it wasn't plain sailing all season. Do those down times sometimes define a team and see how you get out of them and how you respond?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Like I still think about November. I think it was the month. It was just a tough month for us. I felt like we were losing, at least one game a weekend, but at the same time, there's nowhere to hide. You can't go anywhere. We were just in it together, and so we kind of just dug in, and you know, as the year went on, we kind of remembered like, yeah, that stunk losing all those games. So let's not go back to that. And yeah, after a bit there, we just got hot, and it was a lot of fun.
Obviously, you started your career in North America, but more recently you've been to Europe. How did it compare? You had your season there in Cortina before you came to the UK. How did the season compare to what you've been used to?
I mean, there really wasn't much comparison. This year, I mean, even compared to North America, this was for sure the coolest and most fun year of pro I've had, and obviously a huge reason of the part of the reason I'm coming back is because I just really enjoyed it so much, and I really don't think I've ever played in front of fans like that, and such a cool building, and the culture that they're building in Nottingham's pretty special, to be honest. Like just such a good group of guys, and I know there's a few guys coming back, and hopefully some more. So um, it's kind of really a no-brainer, honestly.
I'll mention the fans again. You touched on it there, and I feel like I bang on about them all the time, and we always talk about them in interviews. But is it really something then? That fan support. I think sometimes maybe perhaps fans underestimate the key part they play. It sounds like you and a lot of the guys that fan support and their backing is a key cog in you wanting to come back to the organization.
For sure. Like I said, I can't think of a time. I mean, at University of Maine, the fans are really cool, but I still don't even know if it was like as special as this. And they just, yeah, they make you want to play better. They make you want to win. Like I was thinking about it, after we won, I was like, we wanted to win so bad for those fans just to give them something to cheer about, and they support us all year and make obviously the home game so special. And I think especially that last weekend where obviously it was our building, but it was, our fans only had one section. It was like it was us and them versus everybody else, and that was a pretty cool feeling to win in front of them and be able to celebrate with them.
Yeah, just talk me through your emotions of. Let's first of all, and we've touched on it with a lot of the guys that signed it. It'll probably been one of your first experience of such an intense playoffs. How did you enjoy that format where, four games, all intense, but you won it? How did you enjoy that format of playoffs in the UK?
Yeah, it was definitely unique. Over here, obviously used to those 7 game series and stuff. So it was different, but at the same time, it was kind of just a sprint. And you got to show up each and every night. You got 4 games, like you said, 4 games to do this thing. And, luckily we came out on the right side of things. But definitely unique, but it's kind of cool too.
And we talk about that final. I know from when you signed, I think you got to the playoff finals with Corsina, didn't you? When you were in Italy in that Alps League, just I guess what was the mentality for you that game? Talking about the emotions of the disallowed goals, just talk me through if you can into words about what that was all like, and for you to get your hands on a playoff trophy when you just missed out the year before.
Yeah, I mean, such a crazy weekend, honestly, because it, starts the big win against Sheffield on Saturday night, and then Sunday. I mean, yeah, it was just one game. It wasn't a best of 7 series, like I said, and it was just. I think that's what we were all thinking. We got 60 minutes to win a championship. That's pretty cool feeling going into something. And obviously, it took a lot more minutes than that. But yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I'm sure everybody else said this, but just an emotional roller coaster. going up 3-0 and then blowing the 3-0 lead and then the two overtime goals and then but I mean honestly I don't even think I would change it for much because just the highs and lows and then to be able to finish on that high was pretty sweet.
Seems an obvious question, this, but do you enjoy playoff hockey? Because I'm looking back at the stats and I remember this when writing your press release. You got a ton of points in the playoffs for Cortina at over a point per game. You got 6 points over the 4 games for the Panthers. Do you feel that like that's something that you revel in when it really gets tough going?
Yeah, I love playoff hockey. I think you that's when you really got to be your best and things get tight. It's not loose. There's no, up and down really. It's you got to play the right way and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I was always told, like my dad always told, like big time players show up in big time games, and I think just knowing what's at the end of the race, like a trophy, a chance to win and celebrate and do all that, it just makes you want to play even harder, do whatever it takes. Yeah.
And how much did you enjoy the grind of a regular season? We touch on the short playoffs, but again, it's the North American style of the regular season being the setup for the playoffs, combined with here, as we've talked about many times, about every game being almost a playoff game because of that grind to win a league championship, which is important in the UK. And I think we talked as well near the back end of the season about every league game was intense. Did you enjoy that mentality?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it can be a little exhausting at times, honestly, like because, back here, some game in January, you can bring your B game and it'll be quite fine. But obviously over there, every single game matters. So I think that was something we all had to get, or a lot of us had to get used to because it was new for us. And I think as the year went on, we learned what it meant. And obviously, Hersey was a big part of always preaching that message to us. And like these games matter. It might not feel like it in the moment, but um, I think that'll help us for next year with a lot of us coming back and. We still brought it right to the final weekend this year. With a lot of things had to happen, but we were still right there. So, hopefully right from the get-go, we get that going next year.
You mentioned about Sam, which brings me on to a point. Sam obviously was a fantastic leader and led the team so well on and off the ice. But it felt to me you had a group of players that took accountability. And Danny Stewart, in an interview that we've done, talks about how guys went through personal pain and through injury. And I just think back, it was you, wasn't it, who got on the plane that day to play in the Belfast game, and turned up an hour and a half before face-off. You'd been sick. A couple of guys had been sick that year, but you were determined to get on that plane and play in that game, which you did. Guys played through the pain barrier. And the point I'm trying to make is, if collectively you all buy in and you see others doing things, it really helps mold the dressing room, doesn't it? And there's probably countless examples of that happening last season. And would you say that was another reason about your success because guys were prepared to do anything, whatever it takes, to get the victory and to get silverware?
Yeah, no, I think what you said is spot on. Like, obviously, there's times where we were talking about Sam, where he'd have to say something in the dressing room and kind of, get us back into it. But for the most part, like, not a lot had to be said. I feel like everybody knew there was a job to do. Everybody showed up, and like you said, whether some guys were hurt, sick, whatever it might be, guys were showing up and playing for each other, and it was kind of just like I don't really have like an unspoken thing that no one really had to be like, hey, like, bring it tonight to another guy. Like everybody pushed themselves and, just kind of did their job every night. So I think, yeah, that definitely played a big role where as we matured and grew as a team and everybody could rely on each other that they're going to give their best. No one's going to, give a bad effort. Like it makes it easy to go into such big games, knowing you can trust everybody on your team. And yeah, it ultimately paid off for us.
And Tim, I just want to talk about next season and building a core of players.
Ellie, give me 1 second. I just got a call coming. It's my buddy. He's got something to tell me, I guess. Hello?